Win big with new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Hey everybody, Alexa Zepp here with the Daily Racing Forum to go over a Pick 3 sequence for this Saturday, October 12th. And last weekend was just a wild weekend in racing. We had, everywhere you look, there was a graded stakes race. I think 20 Breeders' Cup winning your ends. And this weekend is a little bit quieter in terms of graded stakes. There's actually only one Grade 1 race, which is the Queen Elizabeth II race at Keeneland. I love Keeneland. It's my home track. I will be out there both today, Friday in the afternoon, and likely tomorrow as well. So please come and say hi if you see me. Don't hesitate. And we're going to do a Pick 3. That includes that Grade 1 race. It's sandwiched in the middle. It's race 7, 8, and 9 on the card. It's a tough sequence. I think the Queen Elizabeth is very hard. And the first race in the sequence is also pretty tough. But I think there's a big chance for a big payout. So we're going to try to tackle it, starting with race 7, a maiden special weight for 2-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs on the dirt. I'll be using the number 2 Contemplate at 8-1 morning line odds. She's an early pace horse and improved a lot from her first start to her second. She set the pace in both of her races and faded a lot in that first start, and then last month got just barely caught to get second place. Her trainer is really good with 2-year-olds, winning 23% of the time. And I think she'll set the pace again. And hopefully with, the more experience she gets, the more fitness she gets, we'll be able to have that stamina in order to wire the field and not fade. I'll also use the number 6, Keepsake, 3-1 odds, more logical horse in here. Buy Into Mischief. It is a first-time starter, and Into Mischief's first-time starters win 16% of the time, and her trainer Brad Cox wins with 2-year-olds 27% of the time. So far at Keeneland, he's on fire as well, winning 43% of the time. So those are a couple of really super hot stats. Her Dam Top Quality is also a stakes winner and has had 2 other foals that have raced both winners. Finally, I'll use the number 12, My Little Punky, at 5-1 odds. It's going to be the other big pace horse in here. She's fast early, and of the horses that have run before, has the fastest speed figures. She got second in her last start, 7.5 lengths behind the winner. However, the horse that beat her, Muhima, was a first-time starter that they purchased for $700,000 as a yearling. So absolutely no shade to her losing to that horse. Race 8, like I said, is the big feature on the card, the Grade 1 Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup, going 1 1/8 on the turf for 3-year-old fillies. This is a tough race. I can make a case for almost every single horse in here. So we are spreading. I'm going 5 deep in here. Starting with, yes, the favorite, She Feels Pretty, at 5-2 morning line odds. She's already a Grade 1 winner and has never done worse than 3rd place. She's always in the mix at the end. Time from US does predict her to be part of the early pace and ultimately win. I think it's an interesting choice by trainer Cherie DeVoe to add blinkers for the first time. They may be trying to send her a bit more. Cherie, by the way, on freaking fire at Keeneland this meet. She's won 1/3 of her starts, been in the money more than 50% of the time. So She Feels Pretty is a serious contender. Number 4, Waves of Mischief, is 12-1 morning line odds and has been constantly improving, minus her start at Woodbine, which was on synthetic, not the turf. And so I'm comfortable ignoring that start. She also has won here at Keeneland in April on her debut, going long on the turf. So we don't really have to worry about that. My only concern here is that she does have a similar running style to quite a few. She's going to want that stalking trip. And I think that could be a contentious position to be in. But at the odds of 12-1, definitely worth including. The 5 is one of the 2 European shippers, Soprano, at 7-2 odds. First time in the US, like I said, and she ran a really decent race in Ireland last out in the Group 1 Matron Stakes. For me, a 4 in Group 1 race is a little bit higher class level than our Grade 1 races. So I like that she has been running convincing races in both Group 1 and Group 2s out there. The number 6, Oversubscribed, is 6-1 odds. And I like this horse quite a bit. She's a closer, usually coming from 4 or 5 lengths off. However, two back. She came from like 19 lengths behind and won by 3. So she essentially closed like 25 lengths, which is a crazy, insane, awesome turn of foot. She has the fastest ever speed figure of anyone in here. And her trainer, Chad Brown, has won this race 4 out of the past 6 years. So this is his element. And he's also on fire at Keeneland, being in the money 6 out of his 10 starts so far. And finally, I will use the other Chad Brown contingent in here, the number 9, Grayosh at 8-1 morning line odds. You got to pay attention to her, coming from the Chad Brown barn. In addition to that, she has one of the best last races in the field. She won the Grade 2 Placid Stakes at Saratoga going long on the turf. She's the closer. She's going to be coming late with her stablemate oversubscribed. So spreading in there, hopefully we'll be able to grab one of these price horses, maybe 8, 10, 12, 15 to 1. That would be awesome. And it wraps up with race 9, an allowance going a mile and a 16th on the dirt for 3-year-olds and up. Only using 2 in here, a little bit more confidence in this race. And I didn't want the price to be too outrageous. So I'll be going with the number 4, King Kumbale. Both of these horses' names are difficult to pronounce. But King Kumbale is 8-1 odds. A closer in here who ran some really impressive races last year under the guidance of Eric Reed, then took this whole year off until last month, where he came out and still put up a decent speed figure, and his trainer is good at getting them in the winner's circle the second time out off of the long layoff. So I really hope he can be not too far off the pace, really sit mid-pack, and then show us his closing kick and catch the 11, who is the logical horse in here that I'll also be using. Let me butcher this name. Komorabino Omiode, the number 11, a Japanese horse, and 9-5 odds, probably the favorite, going to be the pace setter in a race without a ton of pace, has by far the best time from US pace figures out of anyone in here with a 123, the next best being a 116. So I think either Komorabino Omoyode is going to wire the field, or King Kumbale will catch him at the end. So this ticket is $30 for $1. It's a tough sequence, like I said, but liable to pay out in a big way. So good luck to y'all on your wagers this weekend, especially if you play this pick 3 with me.